2D platformers have always been a fundamental building block of Nintendo systems. Whether it was Super Mario Bros. In the 80s launching the NES, launching Nintendo into the stratosphere and reviving a video game industry, whether it was Mario battling Sonic in the 90s for domination in the console wars, or these more recent new Super Mario Bros. Games, as well as third parties and indies, 2D platformers have always been one of the best represented genres on Nintendo's consoles, and the Switch is no different. In many ways, 2D platformers are the most pure form of video games. You move from the left side of the screen to the right with the simple goal of reaching the other side. You avoid obstacles, you overcome hazards, you just want to get to the end. And so with Super Mario Maker 2 coming out in about a week, I'd count down the top 5 2D platformers currently available on Nintendo Switch to get those muscles going ahead of the chaotic Mario goodness. For a very long time, Sega sought to reinvent Sonic. As they brought the series into 3D, they seemed to struggle to find a vision for what Sonic should be in the third dimension. Some of those reinventions were pretty good, some were pretty awful. Some turned him into a werewolf for some reason. Who knew all Sega had to do was take Sonic all the way back to his roots for people to fully embrace the blue blur once again. Sonic Mania is a celebration of Sonic's Sega Genesis days, taking the original trilogy, paying tribute to those games, remixing them and updating them for modern sensibilities. Some of the flaws of those Sonic games carried over. There are cheap deaths, punishing you for going fast in a game about going fast, and of course a Sonic staple, bad water levels. But the game is mostly a joyous tribute to everything that made people love Sonic in the first place. Brilliant music, fun and honestly surprising bosses, beautifully faithful pixel art, and great level design. Sonic Mania was the true sequel to Sonic & Knuckles people were so desperately waiting for so long. So many of the classic mascot platformers, 2D or 3D, have disappeared to time. While the old Crash and Spyro games have recently been dug up and given a new coat of paint, it has been a very long time since we've seen a new entry in either series. Klonoa, Gex, Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter, and Banjo-Kazooie all languish in IP limbo. That makes it all the more a relief that Ubisoft's charmingly weirdly proportioned hero Rayman is still kicking. Rayman Legends Definitive Edition, an enhanced port of what was once meant to be a Wii U exclusive, shows exactly what those old characters may still have to offer. Abundantly creative, this gorgeous game is stuffed with content. Whether it's the brilliant new levels, a handful of levels returning from Rayman Origins, tons of new character skins, a football side mode, Rayman Legends has more than enough to keep you busy. Wrapped in a gorgeous art style filled with varied and thrilling levels, coupled with brilliantly fluid responsive controls and great music, here's hoping Ubisoft keeps Rayman, odd floating hands and all, around for a very long time. Look, this list is the best 2D platformers available on Switch. Super Mario Bros. 3 is available through Nintendo Online. It is one of the greatest 2D platformers ever made. Does it feel like cheating? A little. Does it have to be on this list? Absolutely. If Super Mario World was on the Switch, would I put it here instead? Probably. Should you play Super Mario Bros. 3 instead of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe? Most definitely. I cross my arms for all of that just so I'd feel extra defensive. Listen, it deserves to be on this list. When Super Mario Bros. 2, eventually brought west as The Lost Levels, was released, it felt a little like more of the same. That's not necessarily a bad thing. The original Super Mario Bros. Is one of the most important games of all time, but it didn't feel like the next big step in what would become one of gaming's most iconic franchises. Then Super Mario Bros. 3 came along. Bigger, prettier, more varied levels and environments, an awesome overworld map. It was the successor the original game deserved, building on it in every way. Given it leans toward more shorter levels, it's also an underrated handheld game too. Perfect for Switch, one might say. It feels just as tight and satisfying as it did over 30 years ago, which is a truly remarkable feat. I'm not particularly a fan of hard games, or at least punishingly hard games anyway. I am too bad at games for them. So it was much to my surprise that not only did I beat Celeste, I absolutely adored it. Celeste is the most difficult game anybody can beat, not just due to the user-friendly assist mode included, but also simply down to the way the game is structured. You'll die a lot, but you'll usually get a little further and learn a little more each time, and thankfully, once you clear a screen, you never have to think about it again. While the precision platforming, incredibly stirring music, and beautiful visuals are clear to see, you may not expect to be moved by a game like this. The story of Madeline overcoming anxiety, conquering self-doubt, and defeating a physical manifestation of that voice in your head that always tells you you're less than, provides emotional context to the challenge of scaling the mountain. You may have expected to be confronted by Celeste's gameplay, but you'll grow a little with its story in the process. Not only is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze the best 2D platformer available on Nintendo Switch, it may well be the best 2D platformer of all time. No platformer has ever put as much effort into ensuring every single element of their levels is contextualized within the environment. Every obstacle, enemy, and platform makes sense. It's a cohesive whole. It's not just that levels make sense by themselves, each world combines those levels into a theme. And not like Mario has a desert world and a snow world, the worlds have their own little narrative built in, like an escalating forest fire or working your way through a fruit processing plant. All of that serves tough but fair platforming with Donkey Kong in there to help players who are struggling. An absolutely brilliant David Wise soundtrack, bright, colourful, detailed levels, more collectibles tucked away than you'll ever need, and a boatload of level variety. Donkey Kong even has Dixie, Diddy, and Cranky Kong there to help him along the way, even if Dixie does make poor Diddy Kong utterly pointless. From gameplay to design to simply sheer joy, 2D platformers don't get any better than Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. So those are the 5 best 2D platformers on Switch. Agree, disagree, want to chop off my head because I left out Super Meat Boy or New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe? Feel free, that's what comment sections are for, I guess. Thank you so much as always for watching. On your left, a video about why I played Fortnite for 80 hours and I don't really like the game, it makes no sense. And on your right, a video recapping the games I am most hyped for coming out of E3 2019. Thanks for watching.